We are going to review every single TA retro finest and give we're going to give the two best cards out of each pack for each division. It's going to be on second channel. So what's up, YouTube guys? We're going to go through, like I just said, going to go through every retro finest and finest pack in all of the divisions for TA, and I'm going to give my opinion on the best two of each pack. I'm not going to go through like 1 through 5. I'm just going to give you the best two who I think, because I think it's kind of easy to pick those two, and then the rest is kind of, it's, you know, tough. There's usually like two really easy picks. So we'll go through it. Let's start with the AL East. We'll go just through the AL and then the NL. We got Eddie Murray, Jason Bay. Let me get my face out the way so you guys can see here real quick. Eddie Murray, Jason Bay, Don Mattingly, Mike Zunino, and Tom Hankey. All right. Who is the best in this pack? Overall, I think Eddie Murray might be the best because if you have the numbers, if the bare minimum's there, switch hitter always gets the pull. But it's really close. I think Don Mattingly has the best attributes in the entire pack. This card is actually insane. He finally has power on both sides. The vision's there. I really like the reverse splits element of that too. He's got quirks. The clutch is good. The fielding's great. He can't play third base. If he could play third, I'd put him in at number 1 just because that's fun. So the top two, I think easily here are Don Mattingly and Eddie Murray. I think the worst in this is probably Jason Bay, because like at least Zunino has like a cool swing. Like Bay's is like meh. And the vision's lower than I thought it'd be. I thought that it'd be a little bit higher, to be honest. Boston Jason Bay is fun. I wish it was a little bit higher vision. I think you could make him a full offensive card. But top two, Don Mattingly, Eddie Murray. Now let's go to the actual pack. We got Felix Bautista, the big demon, Rafael Devers, Aaron Judge, Yandy Diaz, and Kevin Gausman. Now I'll tell you who the worst is in this pack right now. Kevin Gausman. He's just by far the worst. This kind of card does not play in this game. Who's the best? I'm gonna go with the top two. It's hard to pick between these two because they're different positions. They do different things. But Felix Bautista and Rafael Devers are by far the two best cards in this pack. I think the best hitter is Devers by far. The best pitcher, obviously, is Bautista. He's probably one of the best bullpen arms in the game, just because he's so hard to read, man. He throws over the top. He's like 7'8". Judge, I don't know. I mean, if you like Judge, he's like an offline warrior. I just think that swing's too long. He's too big. The vision's too low, and he's too slow out there in right field. It's the typical Judge problem, man. I don't know why they're so hesitant to give Judge a crazy card. All you got to do is give him these numbers with like 85 to 90 vision and just make him a little bit faster. I don't really know. I don't know what else to do. Yandy would have been better if he had a lot more power versus righties, but I still really like this card, especially versus lefties, you know, just in general. Positional utility is cool. So on to the AL Central. Let's go to the retro finest. Luis Aparicio got a 99. I mean, they hyped this up. Larry Doby, Tony Clark, finally got out Tony Clark, George Brett, and Jim Thome. Now, let's start with the worst. Aparicio. Duh. Best, George Brett. There actually really isn't a close second, to be honest. It's George Brett. Best overall numbers, best swing, positional utility is great. Tony Clark would have been better if his numbers were a little bit better, or if he fit 99 durability, where he would have been really, really solid. It would have been nice to put some of these first-year players or returning legends back on some of these meta teams, especially when he's like a little bit low in the contact department. But either way, he's going to do well for a lot of people, so he probably gets my vote for second best. Doby, he just has two kryptonites. The power versus lefties is way too low. The vision and the numbers versus righties are great, but he's also way too slow to be a center fielder, although he could play first and second, which is nice. So I give him my vote for the third best card. Jim Thome, there's just cards that do what he does, but better. He's not enough of an offensive demon because of the low vision to warrant that low defense. He's just not. You can get guys with maxed out offense and high vision like Gary Sheffield in this game. You don't need to take this hit. Just my opinion. So that's just how I feel about those guys. So Brett and Tony Clark are number 1 and 2. So we're going to go on to the division, the retro, not the retro finest, the 23 finest for the Central. Luis Robert, Stephen Kwan, Eduardo Rodriguez, Bobby Witt, and Joan Duran. Best cards in the program, no particular order. Bobby Witt and Joan Duran, one of the best bullpen arms. Outlier splitters, crazy. Bobby Witt, very, very well-balanced card all the way through. He makes shortstop team and discipline team, which is really fun, and his numbers are just incredible. Great swing, too. Eduardo Rodriguez is a sleeper. The numbers are really there. It's just the velo's a little tough, and he's kind of readable. But if you could dot with him, I think you have a good time with him. Stephen Kwan just doesn't have enough power in this game. We know this already to be true. And Luis Robert, I don't like the vision rating, and I think his swing is And the clutch is an 87. That's just not good. So I don't know what's up with that. They kind of hoed him a little bit. On to the AL West. Go to Retro Finest first. Roy Oswalt. Honestly, one of the better Roys we've seen. Probably can get a good start or two out of him. Cole Calhoun, which is so random, but the numbers are pretty good. I like that he can play first base too. And he fits the arm accuracy team, which is pretty fun. Catfish Hunter, who they're trying to shove down our throats so many times. They need to get new A's legends. This guy is just, they gave him a sinker, but no. Raul Ibanez, who's a pretty good card. The numbers versus lefties or whatever, but the clutch is there, so that makes up for it. Defense is pretty solid, but the speed's not there, so he's pretty much just like a first baseman or DH. And Mike Napoli, who's the best card. Incredible offense, 92 vision, which I love to see. The clutch is there. The defense honestly isn't bad. The arm isn't great. Fielding is whatever, but the blocking's good. The blocking's good. First base or DH, though, if you ask me, and the quirks are there. So I'd go Napoli. Second best card, it's really tough. Ibanez or Oswalt, you know, not a very strong Retro Finest set. Now onto the current. Altuve, who's very solid. Mike Trout, Brent Rooker, JP Crawford, and Nathaniel Lowe. Best card in this, JP Crawford, I think, and Jose Altuve. JP Crawford has incredible attributes and an insane, I'm talking insane swing, like top 3 lefty swing in the game. Good defense, can play second or third, probably the best. Shortstop, he's a little slow, but whatever, he'll make it work. Altuve has great numbers offensively. Defensively, he's a little bit of a hang-up, but he'll be just fine over there at second base for you. If you really need him, you could DH him too. So it's probably him or JP. Trout, for most people, will do really well. I think he gets a lot of heat because it's not as good as the Chase Pack card, but what do we expect? I think Trout's really solid too. For most people, he's probably going to crush it. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough. I would say JP and Altuve, but Trout's really solid too. Brent Rooker is fun, but not particularly great. And Nate Lowe, underrated, but just plays first base. So there's that. NL East now. Retro Finest, Gary Sheffield, AJ Burnett, Michael Conforto, Jimmy Rollins, and Adam Dunn. Best 2, Jimmy Rollins and Gary Sheffield. It's not even close. Gary Sheffield is phenomenal. Like maxed out collection level card, and the defense isn't anything to slouch at either. He fits the shortstop team. I mean, oh my God, card's just nuts. I don't have to explain that. Jimmy Rollins, insane, fits durability, crazy. Love to see that. Very good card. Burnett's a sleeper. Burnett's always funky on the mound. I'm a little worried about the control and the clutch, but we can make it work. Conforto's got a great swing, but the attributes just to me aren't there. The clutch is there though, which is nice. So, you know, whatever. Dunn, the vision's just too low for me, but the hitting's there. So if you like Dunn, you play on lower difficulties, you might just get it done with him. So pretty strong Retro Finest cards. Now, the 23 Finest Strider, okay, doesn't have the meta pitch mix you need. Jazz Chisholm's awful. Lindor, solid. A little bit low versus righties contact-wise, but you can make it work, especially on the shortstop team. You get that boost, and the arm accuracy team, he makes both, and he runs really well. Trey Turner, okay, yeah, obviously. And CJ Abrams, who they screwed over, to be honest. So best 2 cards, Trey and Lindor, not close. The rest of them, just it's a bunch of idiots. You can pick whoever you want. To the Central now, we got the Retro Finest, Billy the Kid Williams, Billy 2 bags. Love this card, fits durability, fun fact. And he's got quirks this year. Ken Griffey Sr., Paul Molitor, Jameson Tyone, and Matt Holliday. Best cards in this. Gotta go to Billy Williams and Matt Holliday. The offense is just there, and the positional flexibility is huge. Griffey's okay versus really solid versus righties, actually, and the first base secondary is cool, but he just doesn't have enough power versus lefties. Same deal with Paul Molitor, not enough power versus lefties, but he's a fun card. I actually kind of like it, especially with quirks. It could play up a little bit. Tyone's probably the worst. It's just random. Not awful. He got a decent pitch mix, control, whatever, clutch. Not bad, but Billy Williams is probably number 1 for me. On to the 23 Finest for the Central NL. Justin Steele, I like his attributes across the board. What concerns me, the velo and the fact that he is very readable. Pitches from the stretch, it's kind of easy to read, but he'll be fun to pitch with. Matt McClain, who's honestly really solid. Corbin Burns, who we don't got to explain Corbin Burns to y'all, man. I mean, we know this already about Corbin Burns. David Bednar, and Nolan Gorman. Best cards in the pack. I gotta go with I'm gonna go with McClain and Corbin Burns. I think Gorman and Steele are fun but situational, and I think Bednar's awful. So there's that. That's an easy one. Not too hard to kind of lay that one out there for you. Now onto the West, wrapping it up. Retro Finest, Robbie Ray, who's honestly not terrible on paper, but the walks per 9 kind of kills him. Todd Helton, who's always solid. Todd Helton does what Todd Helton does. Yasmani Grandal, very solid card, and you love the swing. Good option for you. Jake Peavy, who's fun. Clutch is a little bit low, but I like the card on paper. And Brandon Bell, who really honestly rakes too. So best card in this, I'm going to go with Yasmani. Obviously, swing power, switch hitter, blah, blah, blah. Next up, probably a tie between Helton and Peavy, but maybe Helton just because I know he'll get the job done. There's too many ifs about Peavy. Too many ifs. No outlier, but he has cutter, sinker, and a changeup. The attributes are a little bit lower than I'd like to see, but not a very weak division either. I mean, Robbie Ray's the only one that's like a little bit, you know. A lot of these guys are solid, man. Retro Finest kind of came out strong. Zach Gallen, on paper, looks decent, but I believe his All-Star card had a sinker, and they didn't give it to this one. No outlier, no velo, no sinker, nothing that moves horizontally or arm side run. He's gonna get lit up, I think. Nolan Jones, everything on paper looks fun, but even especially the positional utility, but the vision's kind of low. But if you could deal with that, he's gonna rake for you. Great swing. Freddie Freeman, who's incredible. We love to see this guy. Durability and arm accuracy. Ha-Sung Kim, arm accuracy and shortstop team. I don't like his swing, but the numbers are there. And Logan Webb, who I really wish to give a cutter to, but he has the numbers, and I like pitching with him. Primary changeup with that control, max walks per 9 is very fun. Best cards in this program here, or this pack, excuse me. Freddie Freeman, number 1. And number 2 is going to be between Kim and Logan Webb. If you can hit with Kim, he'll get the job done for you. It's just a big if because his swing's kind of meh. But overall, a weaker division, honestly. Overall, a weaker division. So that's my ranking for all of the TA cards, Retro Finest, and the current 23 Finest. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you guys like and who you don't like. The more I visit it, the more I like a lot of these cards. The Retro Finests, to me, are the premier cards I'm looking for here because a lot of them are different or cards we haven't seen all year. As cool as the 23 Finest cards are, we've seen multiple versions of these players already for the most part, with the exception of guys like Freeman. So I'm not really too excited about that. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested to see how you guys feel about TA5. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.